joining us today. Your curiosity is wonderful. And just like all of you, it was my own curiosity about nature that led me to working right here at SeaWorld. We receive so many questions about killer whales each and every day from kids and grown-ups of all ages. So we gathered all those questions right here in the Killer Whales Up Close book to share with you today. And we connected the book so that you'll be able to see everything up on our big screens. Now if you're ready to get started, it's my privilege to introduce you to Autumn.
Thank you,
how different each whale is, but did you know that there are even bigger differences in the wild? In fact, would you be surprised if I told you that there are different kinds of killer whales? Yeah, scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, they have different body types, and they even pursue different types of food. And although killer whale ecotypes are different, they're also considered members of one single species, Orcinus orca. So one of those questions that we get asked all the time is, how big does a killer whale grow to be? Well, that would depend on which ecotype you're talking about. Is this killer whale a 16-foot female from Iceland or a 30-foot male from Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The remarkable thing about killer whales, no matter which whale, is that they are found throughout the global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our killer whales. All right, so now it's time to answer some of your excellent questions. So here we go. First question. Oh yeah, so many people wonder about what it's like to be a trainer. In fact, raise your hands out there if any of you have ever wanted to be an animal trainer. Oh, wow. That's a lot of hands. Well, then I think you should meet our dedicated team that interact with our family of whales.
On the far end of the stage, we have Mike Biz. On stage, we have Vicky. Once again, I'm Autumn. And working with Corky is Emily.
And our trainers are so passionate about what they do here every single day. In fact, that makes me think of another one of your great questions. Do the trainers talk to the whales? I'm going to let you answer that one, Autumn.
Well, that is a great question. We may not talk to the whales the way that you and I talk to each other, but we have taught the whales different hand signals that help us to communicate with them. Our ongoing communication is an important part of developing the strong relationship that we have with these whales. And because of this connection, one of the things we're able to do is answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
And that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our part to the wild and back again. That way, everyone benefits. All right, time for another question, and perfect because this individual wonders why whales jump. Well, I just happened at that emoji. Look. You know, killer whales communicate in a lot of different ways. Sometimes they vocalize and sometimes they use their bodies. And a jump like you just saw, it's called a breach. They're actually making a sound on top of the water. And when a whale uses their bodies to slap the water, it really creates a commotion, both above and below the surface. And this could be just to show their excitement, or maybe to display a little power, or just get the attention of the other whales. Oh yeah, so some of you might have heard of our Autumn mention our youngest killer whale, Amaya. And our SeaWorld social media fans actually helped us name her. Here at SeaWorld, we're so lucky because we're able to watch newborn killer whales rely on their mothers from everything, from that very first moment of birth.
As the calf grows and gains some independence, it is looked after by other whales in the pod too. They help the mother protect the calf, teach it survival skills, and show the calf how to romp and play. Killer whales live in family-like groups known as pods. Like human families, Their pods can range in size from just a handful of whales up to a few dozen.
Oh wow, that's a lot of questions. But believe it or not, we get them here every day.
We sure do. Killer whales communicate using all sorts of sounds. Let's listen. Each kind of whale, each pod, has their own dialect, their own unique set of calls. But don't forget, they also use body language.
Yeah, sometimes they blow bubbles or bump into each other or even scratch each other with their teeth, causing something called rake marks. And those are the multi-line marks that you might see on the skin of killer whales and dolphins. It's just one of the ways that they display dominance over each other during social interaction, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. So we just heard how killer whales communicate with each other, right? But do you guys know how we communicate with them? We use signals. And here at SeaWorld, we really do communicate with our whales, and we want those future generations to be able to do the same.
All right, guys, up next is my favorite part of the show. We have some new special friends down at the glass that are going to show us how we communicate with the whales using signals just a little bit more. So Shamu, stay and give a big warm welcome to Colton and Nadia. Now, Colton is going to be interacting with trainer Mike and Ika. And Nadia is going to be interacting with trainer Emily and our whale Corky. So it looks like they're learning some hand signals here. Oh, Ike's over there razzle-dazzling. Look at that dance. That's amazing. And Corky gave a big tail flute wave to Nadia. Uh-oh, Colton. I think that was a pretty wet signal there. You're getting splashed. And Corky's gonna show off that hula dance over there for Nadia. Well, these volunteers did such an amazing job. We want to give you this whale tail necklace in honor of meeting both Corky and Ike today. Ladies, did they do a great job? Give them one more round of applause.
Oh, who takes care of you, Shamu? I love this question because it lets us show all of you how much we really care about these extraordinary animals. So, Autumn, is everyone ready?
We sure are. You know, the training we see here today actually allows us to take care of our whales. They participate in their own health care. Now, we're going to show you some of those behaviors right now. As you can see, Mike and Emily have asked both Ike and Corky into a tail flute present. Now, this is a ventral lineup with their belly facing up towards the sky. And they're able to stay in this position for our veterinarian staff to come in close and actually collect a blood sample from those tail flutes. Their veins are very close to the surface there, and that's the best possible way to do it. Now, Corky, he's showing off here in the slide out. This is more than an excellent photo opportunity. This is a way for us to obtain an accurate weight on the whale. We have a giant scale in one of our back pools that the whales can slide up on, just like you see here. And we track their weight to make sure the whales are healthy and our calves are growing properly. These high-energy behaviors, such as fast swims and breaches, are behaviors that killer whales use out in the open ocean as well as right here at SeaWorld. Focus your attention across the pool at Ike. Now, these behaviors ensure that all of our animals are growing healthy.
And I know that our guests also always wonder, how much does a killer whale need to eat every day to stay healthy?
Well, just like us, each killer whale has different dietary needs. For instance, Orca, who's an 8,400-pound animal, eats right around 180 pounds of fish every day. Now, Amaya, who is 22 months old, eats right around 45 pounds of food a day. It's important to note that the whales get all of their food, no matter what they do, each and every day.
And because we've been able to determine how much killer whales eat throughout different stages of their life, researchers in the field are actually able to determine if ocean habitats are healthy enough for wild populations of killer whales to thrive. And, well, that type of information is invaluable.
You know, food, exercise, and physicals from our veterinarians aren't all our killer whales need. Each animal's well-being is so important to us, and we want to make sure their minds are stimulated and challenged too. This type of mental stimulation and enrichment comes through learning, interaction, and play. If you focus your attention to the screens, you can see some help that we give the whales, jello, even giant toys, balls, and buoys. Now this is a really special segment because we've got two of our large males coming out to say hello. So we've got on stage Vicky and Michelle, and they are interacting with Pete and Ulysses. Ulysses is our largest killer whale, weighing in at just under 10,000 pounds. Here he is over his flag. Now Pete is our gentle giant. He has such a docile personality, and he builds very strong relationships with his trainers. He's coming to give a big warm hello right here. Center stage. Here he is, everybody. This is Pete. So what you're going to notice on stage is Michelle and Vicky are giving the whales ice. They might even give them jello or toys. You see some balls and barrels going into the pool right now. So this is some fun playtime for the whales. We interact with them in all different ways. We give them all types of stimulating sessions, but one of those sessions is a play. So we can throw toys in the pool. The animals might interact with their toys. They might even throw them back to us so we can give them back. So it's a fun game that we play, and it's an excellent way to build a strong relationship with the whales. Now with all the toys and games we provide, the best enrichment still seems to be social interaction with our other whales, and of course our team of experienced trainers.
All right, so here's a question for all you kids out there, because I know you want to know, who would win if a killer whale squared off with a great white shark? So let's take a poll. Raise your hands out there if you think that the great white shark would win. I see a couple hands, okay. Now raise your hands if you think that the killer whales would win. Yeah, that's right, the killer whales. You see, a great white shark hunts alone, but a killer whale hunts the whole pod. So it's not even a competition. And you know, killer whales have even been known to hunt blue whales. You guys know how big a blue whale is? Well, at over 80 feet, it's the largest animal ever to have existed on our planet. But killer whales can hunt these huge animals because they coordinate, they collaborate, and they cooperate. Yeah, they work together as a group to overcome challenges much bigger than themselves. And you know, I think that we could learn a lot from killer whales on how to overcome challenges that, say, our ocean faces. Maybe if we work together, we could change the fate of the ocean. And who knows, maybe even one day, the world. All right, more questions. Here are some of those common ones we get. So here we go, first question. Why do some dorsal fins curve? That's a great question. You see, dorsal fins have no skeletal structure such as bones or cartilage to support their hind wing. They're completely made up of something called connective tissue. So if an animal spends more time at the surface, over time, the tissue inside that fin might weaken and the fin could bend. Now, occasionally you see these curved dorsal fins out in the wild like you see here in the photos and here at SeaWorld. All right, next question. Ooh, how fast can they swim? Well, depending on their size and weight, killer whales can reach speeds of almost 30 miles an hour. Let's check it out. Very impressive. All right, next question. How much water can their tails splash? Well, their tails, or flukes as they're called, are really strong and can fling a whole lot of water about halfway up those stands. So, time for the last question. If all of the whales splashed at once, could they get the whole audience wet? Maybe not the whole audience. And truly, to better understand the killer whale is to better understand our ocean. So never stop wondering about that natural world around you. And be sure to visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for your free download of our Killer Whales Up Close book and share it with your family and friends.
From all of us to all of you, thank you for coming, thank you for wondering, and thank you for caring. We hope you enjoyed Killer Whales Up Close. We'll see you later today at One Ocean and Shamu Celebration Light Up the Night. Have a great rest of your day here at SeaWorld.
And now, SeaWorld proudly presents One Ocean. The ocean is the heart of our natural world. Our legacy is tied to its future, in our hands to cherish and protect. We are one world, united by one ocean.
special care of our killer whales, giving them plenty of exercise, veterinary care, and a variety of interactions that helps us to build strong relationships. Our commitment to animal welfare and our bond with our whales allows us to collect data for scientific research, which has led to the advances in the care of animals in both zoological facilities and wild populations. This information can only be known by working with these animals side by side. It's our hope that you'll fall in love with these beautiful animals, just like we have, and be inspired to protect their wonderful home for generations to come.
Choosing the path, turning the page, other generations wanting to show the way. They're reaching, teaching, and by design, giving and receiving, passing it all down the line. Making a connection, thriving side by side, season after season, ebbing and flowing like the tide, taking in the wonder, spreading far and wide, being there together, sharing it all, side by side.
Sometimes it happens by surprise, out in the world in front of your eyes. See a little kindness, someone who lends a hand. The caring, sharing, spread like a vine. When they return the kindness, passing it on down the line.
Our relationship with the whales is built on trust and respect. We train all of our killer whales using positive reinforcement and offer them a variety of rewards, including restaurant quality fish, snow, ice, and even a nice rub down. Orca is our oldest whale at 52 years old, but despite her age, she's one of our most energetic, fun-loving animals. I love being able to share my relationship with all of you, and I'm honored to work with all of our whales side by side.
Making a connection, side by
One of our favorite parts of being a Shamu trainer is just spending time having fun, getting to know our whales. Every whale has a unique personality, so we connect with them in different ways. But all of our whales share one thing in common. They love to splash. Are you guys ready to get splashed? Oh, come on, here we see 'em. Are you guys ready to get splashed? All right, well, put your right hand up. Put your left hand up. Put your thumbs together, and you've got the tail of
will find